we of course have the Across the Spider-Verse trailer, which I really had to sit there and think if we talked about it last time. But I was like, no, there's no way we talked about it last time because it's been like a week and a bit.
Yeah, well, it came out the 4th, so it was a surprise. It was a surprise drop, actually. People thought it'd be in the morning, but no, it dropped like at 2 or 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
wow,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, it dropped way early in the morning. It was like, yeah, for my time it was like midnight, and then like this East Coast was like 3 a.m. So it dropped in the early in the morning, stateside, and that's why people were surprised that they did that because they thought it would come out around like 5 or 6.
They just didn't want to compete with the Barbie trailer that came out at the same time.
Yeah,
because we all know
yeah,
Barbie's gonna sweep. That movie looks like unironically funny.
Yeah. And that's what people were saying, because I even saw like on Twitter where people was like, that the Spider-Verse trailer dropped, and people were like, what? And then, yeah, they shadow dropped it early in the morning, but it's really good as from what I've seen, and from like the press releases, they were saying that they have stepped up their game from the last one by saying that they added new techniques that they couldn't do from the first one, that they learned from the first one into the second one. I guess it goes on to what they were saying is that each world that they go to, or that Miles will go to, will have its own style and flair of what they want it to be. And
I think what they've shown, it looks like yes, they all look different, but I think they all kind of not blend in together, but they are very similar to each other.
Yeah,
they just have their own slight tweak.
Because like for an example would be Gwen's World of Earth, I think was it 65, where she has a copy of the picture that they took together with Peter, and when she when she took the picture into her world, that picture, it changed its formatting to be a part of her world, where it's vastly different from when you looked at it from when Miles had it.
So it looks fantastic, like just from an animation standpoint. The first one was great as well, but I can remember a lot of people being like, "This gives me a headache," just because the whole skipped frame style they went for. But
they're going for like 24 frames, I think.
I think it's less than 24 because 24 is the usual standard, smooth animation style. Well, at least for like movies, anyways. It's just for it, but.
But yeah, it is confirmed that the Spot will be the main villain, or I guess from this.
That trailer, he seemed to be just like a starting villain. Whether it escalates, I don't know. But
from what has been said, that's where it's going to lead into where, if the talk is correct, that Spot, it will probably be like not wanting to be a villain in the first place until later on in the movie, and then into part 2, to where he finally becomes one because of the decisions that the Spider people make those choices, to where
it feels very Molecule Man.
Yeah, could have like the whole thing could have been prevented if you just tried. This was what I'm trying to say. And that's where I guess
because at least with this one, it feels like Miguel is the villain. Yeah. At least the antagonist to Miles.
He's from what I've seen, he looks like he's going to be the antagonist, because from what I've seen, he's more of the mindset of he'd rather cut out the problem than try and fix it. So in a sense, that's why he was like, I guess he's demeaning Miles, saying that, how I guess it goes in parallel from what Peter B. Parker told or taught Miles in the beginning, is where you had to focus on saving one person, don't focus on saving the world. And in verses that Miguel is telling him that you
gotta save the world, not the world.
Yeah, you gotta save the multiverse, not the one person. And from what you've seen is that Miles wants to help the Spot, but Miguel says that, you're not gonna gamble multiple lives on multiple multiverses for just one person trying to help. And I guess that's where the head.
See, I was pinning on like his dad dies in this, like Miles' dad, and that's what he's trying to save.
Yeah, it could be a version of that, but that's what I'm saying. If the speculation is true that it's mostly about the Spot, not about his dad, but if it's about his
Yeah.
dad,
I
then
mean, you
yeah,
could put like have the two. No, that's the plot, right? The Spot is the reason why his dad died, so he's trying to save and do it
mm,
that way. But I don't know it could very well be because like the Spot can't live. No, he's
yeah,
too dangerous for the universe to survive, so they've
yeah,
got to take him out. But
yeah, because like if you see in the beginning, the Spot, he's trying to survive
same man, it's
by
just chilling. Yeah.
yeah. Well, you see the joke that he was trying to get money from the ATM, but he got a can of soda instead.
Yeah.
It is just he's that quirky villain until he finally realizes how dangerous he can actually be, which is
Okay.
which is funny.
So I think it's fantastic. The Spot's actually, for a lack of a better phrase, getting the spotlight
I mean,
because he's always been one of those villains where he's such an interesting idea and it can be bigger than what he actually is, but he works in both realms. Like he can be a small quirky villain, he could be like a really big intimidating one.
yeah, because that's what most writers have said about the Spot is that if he actually thought about it for a moment and and learned and got competent, then he could eventually be or would be like an Avengers level threat.
Mm.
But since he focuses on the small time and on Spider-Man, he cannot he cannot rise to that occasion. So he's just like a gag somewhere along the lines of like the Shocker, to where it's just oh, it's just him and it's played for laughs. But I
He also
want to
just
see.
looks really cool. No, I just
Yeah.
like the,
Oh,
the, the all white, the black spots. He just looks cool.
like his imagery looks cool. It's just like this version of him. People, from I've seen some people don't like because of his body proportions.
Yeah, he's lanky with the dad bod. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I get it. I get it. But at the same time, yeah, it's funny. He looks cool.
yeah. I still want to know.
He's just a spot.
Yeah, I just want to know what the last world is because they kept that under wraps. Though there is an image that people were wondering how Ben Riley Scarlet Spider would come into it, and he like before they
Oh
made
yeah,
him.
because they released those stills, didn't they?
Yeah, like he basically looks like he
Yeah.
came out of a '90s comic.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that. I was like, that's a nice little fan made thing. It's like, oh, it's actually legit. Like, wow, he looks
Yeah,
proper different compared to the rest of them.
yeah, he just appears for one still. I mean, I think, yeah, but it looks like it's a cut part from when Miguel comes through one of the portals with Spider Woman and some of the other spiders, and I guess Scarlet Spider is with them.
Noise, noise.
But, yeah, it's just good. It's movie's almost here. It's in a couple months.
I was gonna say, when's it out? I
I
actually
think it's
can't.
like June 2nd, I think.
Oh well, that is close. There,
Yeah.
there, yeah. So it's nice they're actually advertising it this time and not just throwing it out there to the wolves like the
Oh,
first
I
one.
know they're doing. I know they're doing it now. It's just like it's just. I know like 'cause people really want to see this because of how the first one went, and I was like, cool. But what I want to know is like, well, we already know. Well, technically, we already know. Is like, I hope that we were gonna get this was it the small little animated trailer that they made
Oh,
for
with
it.
the spider within.
Yeah, we could
I
get
assume
that.
they'll attach it to the start of it. I can't
Yeah.
see why they wouldn't. Or it'll be like on the DVD extras or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
because I like assumed that it's gonna be a DVD extra, but I was like, it'd be cool if they attach it to the actual movie.
It would be, especially if it like gives add extra added context, right? Like you'd be
Yeah,
stupid not to have that in front of it.
yeah.
But before I'm gonna end this off on a question because I
Mm,
don't know if it's legit or not.
mm.
Because there's that picture of like the Spooder Man meme.
Oh, I found that one. That was a really well done spoof. It's not
Oh,
actually
okay, damn.
yeah.
Like I
That's like
saw that,
people
I was like,
wanted.
"There's no way,
Yeah, people wanted it to
no
be real.
way."
People wanted it to be real, but no,
Oh
the person who made it
man,
said no, it's not. It was just a little thing I made. It was
damn.
pretty fancy now.
Oh, well. I know now. I know, and now everyone else knows. In case you fell
Yeah.
for it like I did. But right,